Hey guys, welcome, and this is the first in many of the upcoming videos that we're gonna do. And basically, we're introducing a new video series. We're gonna call it Sauce of the Week. So it's sauce, open source. Shoot me now. Yeah, I know, but yeah. Anyway, the point is we're gonna be talking about cool open source projects that we think is going to be very useful for you guys. Maybe it's going to help with your development workflow, or maybe just something fun for you guys to explore over the weekend, to hack through, or just something interesting. It does not have to be a Ruby project. It just so happens that this first episode is about a Ruby project. It might be Node.js, might be Swift, might be whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the language is, just something cool that we want to talk about. It's not going to be a long video, it's not like the other video series that we're doing. It's just something to introduce you guys, get your juices flowing with the exploration and finding new stuff and going on that, that journey yourself and exploring it. I might be showing a few things here and there, a few tricks here that are common about that open source projects. There's something for you guys to be aware of. But essentially, it's going to be a quick video that talks about that open source project and what it can do for you. All right, guys, let's get started. As you may have guessed, in this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys Jazz Hands and what it can do to your development workflow. Alright, so Jazz Hand is a collection of gems, right? One of the most notable inclusion here is Pry, and you'll see that there's a lot of Pry extensions that are included in here as well. Now, if you want to learn about each of these, you're welcome to come to this page and click on each one of them and see how you can use each one of them. I'm just going to highlight some of the stuff that I use a lot. You can see right here, Pry Rails does a few cool things in the console. So I'm just going to talk about a Herb and Pry Debugger in particular. Some very cool stuff there. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to head over to the console. Over here, I'm sorry that the font is a little bit small, but there's a reason behind that. I'm going to head into the console for now. So this is a non-Jazz Hands version. This is just a regular old console. And what Jazz Hand does is it replaces your console, right? It makes your console so much cooler and you can do so much more with it. So it's just a regular IRB console. I'm going to do post.all. And we're all familiar with this. We get to see this gobbledygook, and it's very difficult for us to read. And let's see what happens when we activate Jazz Hands. So I'm going to head over to my gem file. I'm going to include gem Jazz Hands and exit that out, bundle, and I'm going to now go back into the console. Alright, so now you'll see that our console has changed because now it's using Pry as our console. If you're unfamiliar with Pry, go ahead into the gem, click through the documentation and read through it. It's basically a replacement for the regular Ruby console, so IRB. It just replaces that whole thing. So what can we do with this? So one of the first things I'm going to show you, which is a feature of Herb, so HIRB, Herb here, is, let's see, post.all. So this is why I had to make the font small so that this table can fit on the screen so you guys can see. So as you can see, it's much easier for you guys to read, compared to that chunk over there. This is a much more pleasant experience to read, right? So, all right, so what else can it do? So for example, over here, I'm going to start the Rails server. So I'm going to show you guys how the debugger works. So I'm going to head over to the controller action. And so this is just a regular old index page for the post, and I'm gonna go over into the controller, and here I'm gonna say binding. So let's say binding.pry. So I can actually stop this code from executing by putting this binding.pry over here. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna hit reload over here. So you'll see that now it's basically halted the execution of the code. And now we've stopped here. So this can be very handy if you're trying to figure out what the value of a variable is. So for example, I can see what the post is equal to. Here, I can just get a table of posts that are published. Very cool. So this can be very handy if you need to break into different parts of the code. I'm not going to show you all the features because that's going to take way too long. But you're welcome to read the documentation. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. So for example, I can go into the next line of code. It's going to show the execution, each step of the execution of the code. So if you really want to learn about, okay, how does the render method work, you can do that. There's so much more to it than that. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's gonna really help you guys out. It basically turns your console into like a Ferrari console instead of like a standard stock console. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next video.